Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam IAS Academy. Today we'll discuss about Article 13, most important article in terms of judicial review as part of the concept of the day series. So first let us understand what is Article 3, what are the provisions related to judicial review, and what is the concept of doctrine of eclipse, and what are the conditions to apply this particular doctrine, in which particular situations this doctrine will be applicable and in which situations we cannot apply. All these aspects we'll cover in this video. So first let us understand what is Article 13, right? So as we have seen already, Article 12 to Article 35 in Indian Constitution deals with fundamental rights under Part 3, right? All articles between 12 to 35 deals with fundamental rights. So in the other video we have discussed Article 12, which talks about definition of state. So state means what? What constitutes the state? Which type of authorities are covered under definition of the state? So we have to understand, because if that particular state makes any decision or any law which is in contravention with the fundamental rights or against the constitutional provisions, it can be declared null and void. So that power of declaring null and void and what constitutes law, all those aspects are covered under Article 13. So that means from Article 14, whatever the articles we have in the form of fundamental rights, 14 to 35 are actual fundamental rights. But if these fundamental rights are getting violated in the name of Article 13, in the name of any law or by any state authority, right? So those things are also clearly mentioned. That means in case if the state or the authority makes a law, who is that authority, what constitutes the state, then what type of law can be declared as null and void in case if it is violating the fundamental rights. All this is covered under Article 12 and 13. So today we'll discuss about Article 13. So Article 13 talks about the concept of judicial review. Right? So judicial review, most important article of Indian Constitution, without which we cannot properly enforce the fundamental rights. So judicial review itself is declared as the basic structure of Indian Constitution by the Supreme Court. Right? So we'll understand what is Article 13 and what are the provisions related to Article 13. So first let us understand Article 13 Clause 1. Article 13 Clause 1. Right? So Article 13 Clause 1 deals with the laws which are which are in force before the commencement of Indian Constitution, pre-constitutional laws you can say. So those laws, in case if they are in contravention with Part 3 of Indian Constitution, they can be declared null and void. Right? So understand, before the commencement of the Constitution, whatever the pre-constitutional laws that are already in force and in violation with Part 3 of Indian Constitution can be declared null and void under Article 13 Clause 1. Right? So this is with respect to pre-constitutional laws. Right? Then let us understand Article 13 Clause 2. So Article 13 Clause 2 talks about post-constitutional laws. That means after the Constitution coming into force, that means after 26 January 1950, whatever the laws that Indian Parliament has enacted over a period of time, all those laws, in case if they are in violation with Part 3, can they be declared null and void? Yes, they can be declared null and void. But first thing is, they don't have the capacity to make any law which is in violation with fundamental right. Right? So that means here they can be declared null and void using judicial review. Here judicial review can be applied. But here from the beginning itself, the law will not have any validity because they're not empowered to make any law which is in violation with fundamental rights. Then what is Article 13 Clause 3? Article 13 Clause 3 defines what is a law. Right? So we are saying that any law which is in violation with fundamental rights can be declared null and void. But what constitutes law is not clearly defined. Right? For that reason, Article 13 Clause 3 is defining what constitutes the law. Law means it can be permanent law which is passed by Indian Parliament or state legislatures. It can be temporary law. That means it can be ordinance or anything like notification, gazette or any order or bylaw which was issued by the government of India, or it can be even sometimes a constitutional amendment also that was covered under Article 13 Clause 4. Right? Understand, all these aspects are covered under Article 13 Clause 3. But a fundamental question arose in the Keshwan and the Bharti case also. Does constitutional amendment fall under the definition of law under Article 13 Clause 3 or not is a question. And then in the Keshwan and the Bharti case, Supreme Court has interpreted and has clearly said that constitutional amendment also forms part of the law. In the beginning, it did not agree with the same thing, but later on, it clearly said that constitutional amendment also forms part of the law. That means all these things forms part of the law. In case if they violate fundamental rights, they can be struck down by judiciary using its power of judicial review. So this power of judicial review is also available under Article 32 for Indian Supreme Court or Apex Court, right? So Supreme Court or Apex Court have this power in the form of issuing writs. That means in any violation of fundamental rights, writs can be issued. And we know 5 types of writs are there. So we'll cover that in another separate video. And then for Article 226, the same power of judicial review is conferred on high courts. So high courts can also issue writs apart from 5 writs. In case for violation of legal rights also, they can issue some writs. So this is what one thing we have to understand. Article 13 clause 1, 13 clause 2, 13 clause 3 and 13 clause 4. You need to understand. So what is the basic understanding and the differences in these provisions, right? So constitutional amendment also forms part of the law. That is 13 clause 4, right? Then we'll understand what is doctrine of eclipse, right? So first thing we have to understand, as I just told you, under Article 13 clause 1, whatever the pre-constitutional laws that were passed before commencement of the Indian Constitution and already in force, in case if they're in violation with the fundamental rights, they can be declared null and void, right? So, but in some situations, doctrine of eclipse can also be like interpreted by the Supreme Court. What they'll do is, so which part, see, if the particular pre-constitutional law, okay, so if this law entirely is not in violation with fundamental rights, but certain provision of this particular law, only certain provisions are in violation with fundamental rights, let us consider, only these things will be eclipsed. Eclipse means it will not be active, right? So only those provisions will be eclipsed. So it is not totally made dead, but it will be made dormant. Dormant, you know, it is not active, right? So these parts only, certain parts only will be made dormant but not dead. Dead means we are not nullifying the entire law, but only those provisions which are in violation with fundamental rights will be made dormant or eclipsed. That is what doctrine of eclipse. But for this application, we have certain conditions also that has to be satisfied. So first let us see what are the conditions. So it should be a pre-constitutional law. To apply doctrine of eclipse, you need to have a pre-constitutional law. This cannot be applied for post-constitutional laws because any post-constitutional law will not be valid actually because if it is in violation with fundamental rights. Then second, it must be in conflict with fundamental rights. It should be a pre-constitutional law and it should be in violation with Part 3 of Union Constitution. And law doesn't become dead later but only inoperative. As I told you, it will become only dormant. It will not become inoperative or dead. That there is also an amendment. If there is an amendment to the fundamental rights in future, it will automatically make the impugned law operative. That means if we have changed the object and scope of that particular fundamental right, then those provisions which we have made dormant will become operative after that particular amendment. So these are the 4 conditions which are important to understand the doctrine of eclipse. Then the question is, does the doctrine of eclipse apply to post-constitutional law? It is clearly no, because by the provisions of Constitution of India, we can understand any provision, right? So if you understand any law passed by Indian Parliament or under the definition of Article 13 has to comply always, right? So has to comply with fundamental rights under Part 3. Has to comply with fundamental rights under Part 3 of Indian Constitution, and it also should not violate any constitutional provisions. So in case if it is like violating these things, it cannot be considered as a law actually under Article 13. So that is why doctrine of eclipse does not apply to post-constitutional laws. It has to only apply to pre-constitutional laws, right, which are in force before commencement of Constitution of India. Then next, landmark cases regarding doctrine of eclipse or this particular Article 13 or Deep Chand versus State of UP case. In this particular case, Supreme Court has said the laws which are in violation with Article 13, right, or in violation with fundamental rights will be declared void ab initio. Void ab initio means from the beginning itself the law will be considered invalid. So this is what they have said in this Deep Chand versus State of UP case clearly. Then in State of Gujarat versus Ambika Mills case of 1962, Supreme Court has said that it has modified the view given already in the above case, and it said they have modified this particular view and they said they don't generally become void ab initio but they'll become non-existent. Okay, so they will become non-existent instead of void ab initio. In this way, Supreme Court has interpreted the scope of Article 13 and doctrine of eclipse in different cases. Now let us see the practice question on this topic. So consider the following statements regarding Article 13 of Indian Constitution. You have 3 statements given and the options are also listed down. So if you identify the correct option, let me know in the comment section. Then, as part of the concept of the day series, today we have discussed about Article 13. We have seen what is the provisions of Article 13 Clause 1, 13 Clause 2, 13 Clause 3, 13 Clause 4. So these are the things which you need to know from the provisions point of view. Then the associated doctrine with Article 13 is doctrine of eclipse. So you should understand the conditions that it will only apply to pre-constitutional laws. Then it should always be in violation with fundamental right. Then only you can apply doctrine of eclipse. And then only those provisions will become inoperative. It will not become in entirety. Then in case if there is any amendment to the fundamental right in future, only it becomes operative again. So these are the conditions. And then we have seen whether it applies to post-constitutional law or not. Clearly no. Then we have seen the Supreme Court cases associated with this particular topic. So this is all with respect to today's video. If you like the video and found informative, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for joining. See you again.